bed, so we slept on the floor. He's always smiling, never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances may be, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. The landlord wears the rent, school fee due, partner drop bonds, and the youth them need you. Friends all ask me what I'm gonna do. I smile and tell them that God will see me through. So no matter what the circumstances may be, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. I met this old man, he was so poor, he didn't hold a bed, so we slept on the floor. He's always smiling, I never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances may be, no, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or to separate me from your love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Father. Anyhow, the afflictions of the righteous, the hearts of men getting more and more vicious. Brutality is on the increase. Tell me, when the love of God sees no power on earth to separate me from your love, my Jesus, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Father. This level of crime, only love can eradicate. We must demand justice from the church and the state, and confess to God all our evil ways, and He will give us us so much better days when we show love to each and every brother. Love will return to protect mother, daughter, sister. Let's hope in our heart to those who are in need, who never receive love. Come, let's sow some seed. No power on earth to separate me from love. Love my Jesus, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Heavenly Father. No power on earth to separate me from love. I love you, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. No power on earth to separate me from you. No power, no, oh no, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. No, God will take care of you. Be not dismayed, whatever betide, God will take care of you. Beneath His wings of love.
Good afternoon, Desmond. How are you?
Well, I am supposed to be okay, sir. Well,
Yes.
Professor, thousands of our brothers and sisters are facing serious difficulties. I see where you are appealing for some help on behalf of residents of Petersfield. But I would want
Yes.
to expand our discussion this afternoon by looking at the homelessness in Western Jamaica. What do you make
Yes.
of it, sir?
Well, good to be on your program again. And at the same time, I want to express profound sympathy to the people of Westmoreland who are going through serious distress brought about because of onslaught of Hurricane Melissa. And as we speak, a significant portion of the parish have citizens, brothers and sisters who are homeless. And I want to express deep regrets at their experience and to let them know that our heart and mind and soul are with them, and we are not going to allow them to walk alone. We're not going to allow them to walk alone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, what is going to be done? Because I see the government is making some move, but Professor, one of the things that I want you to understand clearly, you are not the party that the situation in Westmoreland and in the West, it has to be approached by addressing the issue of land tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
because what we have thousands of Jamaicans on that section of the country who were living on land which is not theirs. They were either leased land or they were squatting.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, in addressing this situation, I want the party to understand that that issue has to be addressed.
Well, Desmond, you would know that the issue of landlessness and informal settlement is something that is high on the agenda of the People's National Party. And when we assess the situation, especially in the last election cycle, this was a major priority initiative for us. In fact, it was in the top 5 priority issues for the PNP. And we had proposed that we would have dealt with the matter by making an amendment to the 1883 Act, that 1833 rather, going a little later, 1833 legislation that had set 60 years for anybody living on government land to be able to apply for ownership. We had proposed to change that from 60 years to 25 years. And when we assessed the situation, it would have caused between 400 to 500,000 Jamaicans eligible for land ownership with that move. It's fortunate that we never won the election, but I want to start the conversation there to let you know that it is a matter that we are cognizant of, and we have put forward credible so that with the stroke of a legislative amendment would have made 400,000 Jamaicans accessing land. And that would have freed up over $1 trillion worth of assets in the Jamaican economy. That is what a caring political organization does.
Well, Professor, the PNP lost the elections, but I hope that the party is advancing that line of argument to the government as it moved to address the issues in Western Jamaica. So what I'm saying is that I would like the party to put that on the agenda for the government to move to take some action on that.
And definitely, if you are tracking the developments in the parliament, you would have seen that these are matters that our members in the 28th, the fantastic 28th, have been speaking to.
Okay. As I said, so what has been the response from the government to those proposals?
Well, what we know is that the government has said that the issue of land tenure is something that they will have to deal with in Westmoreland. And Minister Montague has been tasked by the Prime Minister to look at the matter. So we await a formal response from them. Mm-hmm.
But I can really imagine that they will have to leave the school shortly because that school must be reopened.
Yes, and I understand that situation, but the government has a duty to make sure that it take care of these citizens as well who have been dispossessed because of the hurricane. And so what we are saying is that what they have put on the table in terms of putting up a tent on the play field to host these residents, not going to cut it, because the play field is prone to flooding from what we understand. And you want to make sure you put the people in a dignified place. Putting up a tent on the play field and having school in session and some of those children being exposed to the family and what is taking place under the tent. Children are there who go to the school. And you know, children operate from time to time. So you don't want to do anything that is going to be an affront to the dignity of these individuals. And what needs to happen is that the government needs to look around carefully within the parish, within close proximity, of how it can provide reasonable accommodation for these individuals, one, and two, make sure that they look for all of those people in that 180 citizens where they have houses and they can effect repairs to those houses, working in tandem with the JDF to make sure that, you know, they provide some form of renovation to those houses. Third, the government need to make sure that those individuals who do not have any form of housing because they have been totally displaced, it is incumbent upon them to make sure that some form of permanent fix is provided for these individuals because every Jamaican is entitled to shelter. And where individuals cannot provide the shelter, the state has a duty to give some form of assistance and support. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the government must tap into the goodwill of the Jamaican people during this time. And what we should be organizing is in areas where the people have land and they have lost their houses. We need to tap into the goodwill of people and work with the army and say, let us go into these areas and, if it's even to start a one-bedroom, right? Block up, steal up and block up, and then make sure that the people carry through. We have to make sure that we're building with the appropriate systems in place. I tell people that when I went to St. Mary, albeit that the hurricane never affected St. Mary to the extent that it did in Westmoreland. But when I looked at my house in St. Mary, we never lost one sheet of zinc on that house. And I did a lot of renovation to the house over the years from my mother passed, and I carried over the same shape and form of the roof. And it's built with what we call a hip roof. And where we have seen that these roofs have been built on houses, these roofs have withstood the test of time. And so I believe that we need to look at what works and apply it in the circumstances. I was told by a number of individuals in Western Jamaica who have the sort of hip roof that their roof, really stood up in the hurricane.
I want to hold it for me. We are going to take a break. This is the radio. Let's
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Thunderbird Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
terrible in Western Jamaica. And as you said, the party is what I see so far, I hear the government talking about is some temporary container homes. I don't know how many are there. I saw a report where it said the NHC has ordered 5,000, but much more than that.
And well, it better be temporary, you know, because the thing is that I don't know if we want to have container homes as the new norm, because it comes with its own challenges. But what we are saying is that there is an urgency and immediacy to the situation, and so we have to get in homes that can be built in large numbers over the next couple of weeks. And container homes is said to be one of the quickest ways. We hope that the government will be able to honor its commitment by now and February, I understand, so that we can give some relief to our people. But in the meantime, I still believe that the government can roll out some assistance, some support in terms of building materials, so that those who will not be able to purchase those container homes, or those who just need to effect repair to their buildings, to make sure. And they have given members of parliament, I think the figure is $10 million. I don't know if it's all MPs have received it, but they have given some funds to members of parliament, and that is woefully inadequate at this time, because when I hear the estimate of the damages that have been done, we're talking about, from the government standpoint, they have said it's 8 point something billion US dollars and are over 1.4 trillion Jamaican dollars. And a significant portion of that is because of the housing stock and other buildings that have been damaged during the hurricane. The estimates pointing to some 145,000 buildings, including houses, that have been affected. This is significant. This is significant. And to give a member of parliament $10 million is setting up the people. He's setting up the people because at minimum, the member of parliament can give somebody in terms of assistance at minimum is $50,000. And if you're giving $50,000 to each person for argument's sake, I think I am a professor in disability studies, not economics here. So pardon me my maths, right? But my maths is pointing to about 200 people that $10 million could assist. If we're talking about $50,000 each, right? And a lot of the people, when you look at the building material and the cost of zinc and all of that sort of stuff, far more would be needed to assist individuals across this country. So, the government needs to wheel and come again. The government needs to wheel and come again, where this $10 million is concerned for members of parliament.
Well, Professor, we have to keep it on the front burner because, as we say, this is affecting the lives of the people. So let me say to be continued. Thank you very much for your time. And as I said, we have to keep it on the front burner. So we will talk again. Thanks very much.
Blessings, my friend. Blessings.
Okay. That was the opposition spokesman.
Who's speaking?
Okay. This is Rebel Radio. Hold it there for me, please. Hold it.
Afternoon. At 2:30 we had the appointment. We had a meeting at 2:30 and now it's 2:45. And I told you that 2:50 I have to leave. So no makes sense. I was waiting on you. I am sorry, but I know, I understand your stress, but in 5 minutes I start a board meeting. And I send you also a message saying, please be on time.
Well, you can talk for 5 minutes.
All right.
Hey, Desmond. Hi, Maria. Carla.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. I'm not bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
For the first time in 24 years, that we are going to end this year with the number of murders being It's the first time in 24 years. I think that is an achievement. But this morning I was having a discussion that the police is keeping track of the gangsters. So, for example, car with going to create some criminal acts. Yes. So, police killings, ladies, as we know, there's going to be a record number. 285 was the last number.
No, it's now 290.
Okay.
Last update for today is 290 year to date. And 10 in the month of December.
All right. So this year, it is going to be one of the record years of police.
Yep. Sadly and worryingly, it is projected to be a record year. If you look at what Indicom is predicting, they're predicting that it might be up to 300 killings if the trend continues. That has to be considered to be troubling. And if we take your informers' information to be in any way kind of truthful to police strategy, and if you look at what Indicom is reporting, for example, in their own report on these planned police operations and how those operations are the operations that see increasingly the fatalities that has shot up this number to 290, then it does seem to be suggesting that the police are indeed intent on taking out those that they consider to be key players, such that they're presenting themselves as judge, jury, and executioner, which is not the role of the police. Absolutely not. It certainly seems that way. It certainly seems that way. And again, we're calling for accountability on the part of the police, and we're asking for the police to act in ways that preserve human life and that respect the rule of law. So the police do have a right to defend themselves. Their job is one that is really, really dangerous. So no one is blaming the police if they come under fire and they respond with force in order to protect life, their own lives, and hopefully the lives of others around them. However, what this trend seems to be suggesting, and what the reporting that I'm reading coming out of Indicom is suggesting, and what your anecdote is suggesting, is that there may well be police overreach in not giving due regard to the rule of law, so that these people who they claim are these violence producers are the ones that are responsible for the murders. So everyone that they take out, they are saving several lives. So they're making a direct connection between murder reductions and increase in police killings. The irony and the paradox of that is we ought to be troubled about that. It is not the role of the police to go in there and execute anyone without them facing justice in our courts. You know, and what they're doing is that they are continuing to undermine the trust of communities in the police force, they will continue to find themselves in a situation where it will be us against them situation, the police against members of communities, particularly vulnerable inner city communities, where the reports constantly come into Indicom saying that police accounts of how men have been murdered, and it's usually men have been murdered, doesn't line up. And there are just some fascinatingly troubling cases that Indicom has presented. They presented three scenarios in their October report. They did this special investigative report on planned police operations because they're saying that it is in the planned police operations that you're seeing significant increases in fatalities coming out from the interactions between police and civilians. And there are just some fascinating scenarios there. I read one for you, Desmond and audience, and Maria, if Maria is still on with us. On page 8 where they give examples, and they have scenario 1 entitled Snap Raid Without a Warrant, Plan to Arrest No Senior Officer. So they say in August 2024, two constables attended a premises without a warrant, citing a snap raid, and alleged they received information that a man was wanted on suspicion of murder. The officers attended his premises stated that the door was ajar, and they report being confronted by a man who was allegedly armed. The man was shot and killed. However, the subject was reporting on bail to Hunt Bay Police Station since April 2024, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The snap raid occurred on a Thursday. The deceased had attended the police station 3 times in the previous week. In the absence of proper planning, supervising command, any search warrant, and a lack of correct intelligence as to where this alleged wanted man could be found, this planned operation was flawed. The deceased could have been detained the next day at his regular reporting. That's Indicom.
Carla, what is your take?
My take is that unluckily I have to leave because the interview was between 2:30 and 3, and it's almost 3. But I can say that I support what I have been listening from you. I am aware about the numbers, and I am aware about another thing, that the amount of killings, which is striking, is damaging completely any attempt to do community policing with people in areas. There are some areas where there is a program with the community policing which is functioning to build a relationship between the police and the residents. Episode like this completely cancel any possibility for the people to trust the police, and I think that is a huge damage. And saying that, unluckily, I will have to leave. Apologies.
You hearing me, Desmond?
Yes, I'm
You
hearing you.
hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
Hmm. Yeah, what I say is that you'll have many Jamaicans who will quarrel with us and look askance at us for having this conversation. That even wants to suggest that people who are suspected, who are alleged, men who are alleged to be violent producers and murderers, gunmen, whatever, that they have the right to be taken before the court. We have a culture in Jamaica that believes that such men, even if they're only simply suspected of being involved in this particular way, should face the full force of the law, not before the courts, but at the hands of the police, for whom many people believe it is right for them to do that. And I think that there's a lot of work that has to be done to educate us that even the vilest human being, however we describe that person, has a right to life and has a right to be brought before the court and be judged by a jury of his or her peers, and that men and women in uniform, who, yes, the state does have the use of legitimate force up to the point of force, do not have the right to simply go in and take out these men, and that what they're doing is that they're usurping onto themselves other parts of the legal system that does not, reside with them, and that what they are doing also by the attitudes that are projected and some of the things that kept being said by police high command and so on, particularly the refusal to redeploy the body worn cameras that they have, such as they have them, and they do have them, but the commissioner believes that that deployment should be in other spaces, not in the planned police operations, where oftentimes that is where the fatalities happen. And then you have the complaints against the police, and the police don't see that this is where they also need to be protecting themselves, right? Without the data and the information that's coming to us from these body worn cameras, and the technology is there, and part of what the JCF is saying, especially from the level of the high command, is that they are now a professional force that is deploying technology at its highest levels. So why then is it that this deployment of technology cannot sufficiently include body worn cameras at these planned police operations? It just does cause many of us to be suspicious. And that's not what the police want. They want to have us on their side, working along with them, supporting them. Yes, man. Yes, we do. Mm-hmm.
Something that we will have to keep on our front line because it is very important.
It was my pleasure, Desmond. Take good care.
God will take care of
Everybody sale at new budget supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hunterburg Road. Telephone 93-4560. New budget supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
Afternoon to you. So how are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you and your listeners. I'm doing pretty fine. Yes.
So what are some of the main things happening in our Caribbean island there, lovely St. Kitts? How are things over there?
Well, actually, for the past, shall we say, a few months, it's months now, we've been having a hurricane of sorts, not a Melissa, but a political, I would say, hurricane that doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon.
Yes.
The government has passed a Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Act, and that has been stirring up quite a storm. And what has exacerbated that storm is the fact that, and remember that we are two islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, that makes up the country, right? Over in Nevis, there is supposed to be a development that is being apparently negotiated right now that is going to be under this Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Act. We call it SSZ for short, right? And it's stirring quite a controversy because, for one thing, it's accompanied the whole negotiating process. There's no actual proposal yet, but the whole negotiation process is being shrouded in secrecy. And what we have is snippets coming out from time to time from both the government in Nevis, because they have their own island government, so to speak, okay? They have some autonomy. And they have been releasing snippets of what is proposed. And the developers themselves, there's a spokesman for the developers, which too have been coming on various media platforms, basically giving us ideas of what they would like to see as well. And from what has been uncovered so far, it's very controversial. Now, I think you all have special economic zones in Jamaica. Do you?
Special economic zones?
Yes.
Yes, we have some of that.
Okay. And that really entails what exactly?
So it can be something. This is some commercial development, or it is residential.
It's resident. Well, that's the whole point. It seems as if it's going to be mostly residential, although developers say they will probably put in a couple high-end hotels as well. But for the most part, it seems to be residential. And the problem is, people are concerned about the scale of the development. Nevis has a population of about 13,000 people. The developers want about, well, upwards of 2,000 acres, 2,400, I think, is what they want, which is roughly one-fifth of Nevis. Okay, and they expect about, according to the Premier of Nevis, 7 to 10,000 residents. Okay. Yes. Now you realize that would change the whole character of the island. That's a lot of people.
Yes.
And
because that would be 10,000 additional residents.
Precisely. And the developer himself, well, there was controversy over the whole idea of the who the development was going to cater for, because it was anticipated initially that it might be for libertarian type people. Okay? And right, that's where the rub came in. But the developer himself said he is not so much interested in the philosophy of who's coming, the libertarian nature of who's coming. He's more interested in accommodating families. Now, as soon as you said that, you realize the multiplier effect that could have. You realize the implications of that. Right? And so the whole thing is, I mean, it's being debated back and forth. And the interesting thing is, in our country, it is very difficult to get disparate views, groups like Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the Bar Association, the Historical and Conservation Association, and the opposition, among other individual people, high-powered individual people, speaking with one voice against this development. Okay? But that has happened. All of them have come up with reservations about something of this scale, of this magnitude. But interestingly enough, the Premier of Nevis and the Nevis Island Assembly, they seem determined to push ahead with it. Right? And they have set, they and the developers have actually set a deadline of the end of the year for this thing to be passed. All right? So we could anticipate, well, we don't know what's going to happen because essentially what the SSZ does, it is supposed to be a framework to allow for the developments like these. Okay? But the development itself, once the proposal has been agreed on, has to go through the federal, well, both the what we call the NIA, the Nevis Island Assembly, which is like a separate parliament, and the federal parliament. It has to be passed there, that particular development. And we don't know what is going to happen, to be quite honest, bearing in mind the extensive opposition to it. We don't know what the final proposal will look like, if they're going to at least scale it back. We don't know, even if the Nevis Island Assembly passes it, if the Federal Assembly will go through with it. Right?
Let me find out something here. What are the main reasons for opposing that development? Those who are opposing it, what are on what grounds?
Well, there's a fear that the government is going to be yielding some of the authority to that special zone. Okay? Because apparently they're supposed to have and they put some nuances on it, some euphemisms on it, but essentially like their own security, their own conflict resolution mechanism, courts if you want to call it that, things like that to operate in that zone. They'll be given tax concessions, right? Those kinds of things, right? And we are not sure exactly the extent of these things. People are afraid that in that enclave, you're going to have what are essentially very wealthy people, okay, who may not share our values, who may change the character of our islands, who may influence our politics. Let me give you an example. One of the things that we thought at first was that these were very rich people, very wealthy people coming in to invest. But we are now finding out that they're actually going to use our CBI. Remember we spoke, I don't know if you recall, we spoke about that in an earlier conversation. But the Citizens by Investment, right, yeah, to do the development, okay? And what was interesting, normally, when the advertise...
That means that the government would be funding the development.
Wouldn't go directly and say the government, but the sale of passports, so to speak, that's essentially what it's going to be. Is going to fund that development. Okay.
Let me try and understand. So, are you saying that new development there that would cater for persons who are beneficiaries then from this program, the sale of passport? Those are the people who reside on that community.
Right. So there'll be citizens, okay? And that raises a lot of concerns because whereas right now, our CBI citizens, most of them just wanted a passport to be able to travel and so on, right? Another passport. They weren't so much interested in coming to the island and taking up residency, okay? But this is different in this sense that there would be residents. Now, if you're a citizen and you're a resident, the possibility exists that you can eventually become a voter as well. Now, right? So you see, you see what that could mean, right? Right. It would impact our elective politics, and although the Premier of Nevis said that they would introduce legislation to prevent that from happening, I don't know if they can constitutionally prevent a citizen who is resident from voting, right? And even more interesting is the fact that normally when you have an advertisement for that the agents would send out to encourage citizens or to encourage people to apply for citizenship on the CBI program, they don't normally say things like, in 2 years, you can vote. And apparently there was an ad that did that. And people have to wonder about the actual intent of doing that. Because you see, one of the quirks, well, I wouldn't say a quirks, a quirk as such, but certainly one of the items in our Constitution is a clause 113, which enables Nevis, once it has a referendum and get two-thirds saying yes, Nevis can secede from St. Kitts. In other words, become an entirely new country. Now, could you imagine that number of people with one voice and with that amount of money influencing something like that? So there are some who are concerned, some are concerned that this is a Trojan horse. This is a backdoor way of actually taking over the country. So, that's the extreme, yes, but there's that possibility that make people kind of uneasy. Then, of course, there is because you're asking, why are people so uneasy about it? Nevis is not like St. Kitts. Basically, St. Kitts was a plantation. We were full of plantations. And the government essentially nationalized, paid off the planters. Once sugar became unprofitable, paid off the plantation owners. So the government ended up owning most of the land. In Nevis, a lot of the lands were owned by divisions. Okay? And so we always had a difference in approach. Now, what has happened over the last few years? We found out that this has been happening over the last 2 years. These developers have been buying up lands in a very secretive way. People didn't realize this was happening. They didn't realize that this was the end goal. But they have been buying up lands to get to the 2,400 acres that they want. And, right. Right, or concessions too. Okay, basically, they say, I guess they put it in escrow or some escrow account or something, that at least get people to say, we will sell you the land if within a particular time, you get the food, you get paid for it. Everybody, some have gotten full payment, others haven't. They just had concessions from. Okay? And the thing is, people are now saying, but we can't have, again, this sounds like a backdoor. We had the plantations before, we had our colonizers essentially owning the land. We reached to a point where the Visions now own the land, and we're going to be giving it back to people coming in from outside. Yes, it's a sale, and yes, it's voluntary. Yes, it's private land. It's not government land like in St. Kitts. It's private land in Nevis. So they can ostensibly do anything they want with the land. They own it. Okay? But there's the whole concept of ownership of your land and leaving it for posterity and so on to your successors and so on, which is seen to be going out the door as foreigners come in and buy up the land, okay, and have a development of that scale. You see? And right, and there are other little things that people were uneasy about. For instance, the fact that, we are a small island, and one of the things that happened apparently is that the wife of the premier is into real estate. And she was one of the main principals who was engaged in trying to acquire the land from people to on behalf of the developers. And that raised a whole new issue of whether there was conflict of interest or not. There was a call-in recently when somebody said that the premier should recuse himself from anything to do with the development. All right? The developer himself said, when I asked about it, said, well, it's a small country, and so they have very few options in terms of real estate people. But it raised concerns among certain quarters on the island. Yeah?
The developer is a developer of foreigner, or is a national citizen of
He is, I think, from the person who's speaking on behalf of the developer, Olivier Jensen, I think his name is. I think he's originally from Belgium, but he's now a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. He came in under the CBI thing as well. Okay? Right. Exactly. And the thing is, people have been like Googling his background and Googling the background of other people he's associated with. And I think that's where the libertarian thing came up. He, of course, downplays that as well. His views and his philosophies and so on have changed over time. And sure, you can change your mind about stuff. But, the whole thing, creates a bit of discomfort for people here, mainly because of the secrecy. And what's worse, the government is now having town hall meetings about the whole issue about the act itself, as well as the proposal, the development proposal, which is called Destiny. Okay? And the developer related the fact that, because people were saying, well, why not have town hall meetings before the passage of the act, before any proposal comes out, since it's obvious that they have some goal in mind. And he was actually saying, the developer actually said that, well, they wanted to have these town halls before, but the government advised against it. And that itself sent alarm bells ringing. Why would the government not want to include people, ordinary people, or as wide a cross section of people as possible in these things. Since it's going to be such a game changer, all right? One would expect that as wide a cross section as possible of stakeholders would have been included in to at least canvass their views on the whole idea, right? And this happened after the fact. So I think we're in waiting mode now. Like I said, they've said the end of the year they want this thing sold up by the end of the year. Thing is, Monday. Well, first of all, the end of the year is just a few weeks away, right? Right. Monday, I think is the 16th. I think Monday is the 16th. That's budget day, right? And so people will be looking for clues as to, what this would mean for the budget in the upcoming year, those kinds of things. Because one of the selling points that the developers use is that he has gave an impact assessment of, I think he was saying, $50 million in the next 5 years or something like that. Okay? And it is believed in certain quarters here that one of the reasons why both governments in Nevis and the federal government are so gung-ho on the development is that they are cash strapped. Okay? And this offers a way out of, it certainly offers a cash cow if they're going to be using the CBI, because, as you know, the CBI has been one of our main sources of income over the past couple of years. It's been drumming up because of the pressures on it from outside, the EU and North America and so on. They have imposed some restrictions and so on. And so it's not as flourishing as before, right? And the government has been saying that, well, we have to diversify. Well, I don't think this is what people had in mind when they think of diversification, because you're using the same CBI again, okay, to get income. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds. But that's what's happening here. It's been overshadowed a bit, of course, by your hurricane, which I hope, militia, which I hope you all are recovering well from, and of course by what's been happening in Southern Caribbean with Venezuela and the US and Trinidad, yeah. Vincent and St. Lucia, right? It was interesting. It was interesting to see, pardon the pun, the motley group that went down there into St. Lucia to basically celebrate the victory of the St. Lucia Labour Party. I think it included Motley, our own Prime Minister Drew, the carried from Dominica, the Prime Minister of Grenada, right? And you have to wonder, right? What exactly are these guys thinking? Because here we are with this serious problem in the Southern Caribbean. All of us depend on tourism. None of us want any kind of conflict to break out in the region, because most likely it's going to have a bad effect on us. A lot of us use Venezuelan oil products. There's some arrangement with Petrocaribe and those kinds of things. That's probably going to be affected. And they are out celebrating a party's victory. I would have thought they would have used the opportunity to at least come up with some kind of statement vis-a-vis what's happening in the region. You know, the optics just didn't look good. They're laughing and enjoying themselves when, you know, they're really serious. There are serious things happening. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. McMahon, we are going to leave it there for today, but we have to continue this discussion because, as you know, we have to keep an eye on what is happening in our neighborhood.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
of course.
So thank you very much for your time this evening, and to be continued. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having me. Anytime.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. $195 per grow. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, hardware and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com. Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
I just got me a deal with that. So what I want, my friend George Looks? Why, Richie Steven? With us there, I did the almighty praises. And the best thing that, cause when I remember just where I am coming from to where I'm standing now, I fell to my knees in praise of your name, thanking you, Lord, every step of the way. Oh, Father, you know I love you. soul with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. Oh, I will never ever leave you out. I won't be ungrateful to you, my Lord. I know that this world is all in your hands. We are your children, and so we give you praise. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. I've had many tears and sorrows, questions for tomorrow. There's been time I didn't know right from wrong, but in every situation, God gave me consolation. That my trials come to make me strong. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I've been to lots of places, seen so many faces. There were times I felt so all alone, but in my lonely hours, those special hours, Jesus let me know that I am His own. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I thank God for the mountains, thank Him for the valleys, thank Him for the storms He brought me through. 'Cause if I didn't have problems, I wouldn't know that God could solve them. I wouldn't know what faith in God could do. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff that comfort me. Though the wicked will come upon me to eat up my flesh, they will stumble and fall. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to put my trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Through it all, I've learned in the day. There's still God in the night. Life is
for anyone experiencing blurry vision.
When you're on top of the mountain, you've got peace of mind, like you never know. Yeah, but things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, or you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things goes wrong, He'll make them right. And God of the good times is still God in the bad times. God in the day is still God in the night. You talk of faith when you're on top of the mountain, but talk them easy when life at its best. But it's down in the valley of trials and temptation. That's when your faith is really put to the test. Lord of mercy, for the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make them right. God of the good times is still God in the bad times. God in the day is still God in the night. God in the day, yeah, it's God in the night. Lord of mercy, when things goes wrong, He make them right. Yeah. Oh, Lord of mercy, God in the day. Jesus, take me now. I surrender all. I surrender all. All to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all. All to Jesus. I surrender. Make me Savior, holy Christ. Let me feel thy Holy Spirit. Truly know that thou art mine. I surrender all. I surrender all. All to thee, my blessed Savior. Oh, I surrender all. I surrender all. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. Oh, I surrender all.
Andrew Holness. Yes, you, Andrew Holness. You get exposed. Just as how you stole the election in Jamaica, you are now sending your team to other Caribbean islands, allegedly meddling in other people's election. This was confirmed by St. Lucia Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. The new Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre, has confirmed something massive, and it ties Jamaica into two different Caribbean elections. Jamaica, this is not a small story. This is regional embarrassment. Prime Minister Philip Pierre's St. Lucia Labour Party, SLP, just swept the polls. 14 out of 17 seats in a clean, commanding victory. The opposition, UWP, only one seat. Independents took the rest. But here's where Jamaica come in. Pierre confirmed on Nationwide at 5 that reports surfaced that several JLP operatives were allegedly deployed to St. Lucia to help the UWP win. So imagine that.
No, I'm not surprised because it's not the first time that the Jamaican Party has done that. The Jamaican Labour Party, its traditional friends is the United Workers Party, although we are Labour parties. But I hold no ill will, no ill feelings. In fact, after your hurricane, St. Lucia made a contribution of $500,000 US to the government and people of Jamaica, and so we have no feelings. I believe that if we live in society where people have a right to support who they want, and the people of Jamaica and St. Lucia will remain friends.
Jamaica dealing with hurricane recovery, inflation, and parliament meltdown. And the JLP allegedly have time to send campaign teams to go meddle in St. Lucia general election. Now here's the kicker. Prime Minister Pierre said all that alleged interference had minimal impact because the SLP still crushed the polls in a landslide. In short, UNU come, but UNU fail. The pattern gets worse. St. Vincent too. Family, this is not the first time we're hearing this. Similar allegations surfaced in St. Vincent when longtime Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, close friend of the PNP, lost his election. People across the region said the JLP allegedly backed the opposing side, the Dr. Godwin Friday-led NDP, which won in a landslide. This is what Caribbean people have been whispering. The JLP has been allegedly helping parties aligned with their ideology and campaigning against parties friendly to the PNP. This is not local politics anymore. This is Caribbean geopolitics, and it gets deeper. and it gets deep. Rumors about Rhoda Crawford. Online sources and political chatter suggest that Rhoda Crawford was also allegedly involved in regional political campaigning. Again, these are allegations, but now that PM Pierre has publicly confirmed interference attempts in St. Lucia, people across the region now connecting the dots. Let's talk plain truth. Andrew Holness' government is allegedly going around the Caribbean interfering in elections then. Who focusing on Jamaica's local crisis? Who fixing disaster relief mismanagement? Who dealing with corruption? Who answering Mark Golding's questions? Who addressing the people suffering after the hurricane? It is shameful when another CARICOM prime minister has to imply, we saw what UNA tried, but it never worked. That is international disgrace. And while Andrew Holness' wife in church, begging mercy and acting holy, other leaders call out the JLP for political behavior that looked very questionable. Prime Minister Pierre said the JLP's alleged interference had minimal impact, which was a very polite Caribbean way of saying, UNU medal and still lose. This is humiliation on top of embarrassment. Family, drop your thoughts below, because this one shakes the whole Caribbean. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Mishy Deck's commentary. We tell it straight every time.
Everybody sale at new budget supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. £195 per room. Telephone 923-4560. New budget supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
and Caribbean farmers, we're going to pay tribute to Lenworth. And so far, I see where I have Mr. Stephen Lane out of Barbados, Mr. Carl Smith, Bahamas, Ray Hill, Jamaica. Yes, they are online. Good afternoon to you, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Blessed good afternoon to all of you wonderful people there.
Yes.
Thank you. I think you also need to say that he was very keen on the youth in our culture as well, and dedicated much of his time to that, to the young people in our culture.
Yes, of course. Yes. And as I said, that we know that, you know, the death, we are sure of death, but one of the things that as mankind, I don't think we have, it is not something that we accept. You know, we have lost Stephen, we have lost Lenworth. Yes. Yes. So, start with you, Ray. What do you recall about Lenworth?
Ray here.
Yes, Ray, go ahead.
Yes, let me just say that I'm in the hurricane destructed area, so our signals here are very poor.
Yes.
And secondly, it's raining, so I just got what they need cut off, you know?
Okay.
Went back and forth after me. But in people of agriculture, it was very, very, very good. And
you are breaking up, Ray.
Yeah.
You are breaking up.
Yeah, and it's not. It's signals. It's not.
Ray. Ray.
Yeah.
Hold it. You are breaking it. You are not coming through. The signal from your side is very, very bad. Just hold it there. Because I'm not hearing what you are saying. Yeah. Mr. Steve.
Yeah, we have no connection here.
Yeah. Just hold it, Ray. As I said, you are not coming to what. Let me hear from Stephen.
Well, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to honor our fallen member, a hero to the Agricultural Society in Jamaica. What I was most impressed on reports that I got, he had a keen interest in the youth and encouraging the youth in our culture. As we know, most of us that are committed, spend a long time today at the Barbados Agricultural Society with Mr. Paul. Yes. He's attending a couple of other meetings this evening, and I can see it is very tiring on this journey, and the rewards do not manifest themselves in terms of monetary rewards, but we continue. I had a lot of good friends. I would come a batch that have gone in the last couple of years, and Gerald Proverbs, who is ill at this time, and I would like us to keep him in our prayers as we go forward. But I do agree with you, even though the expectation is that time will not come, and we hope that it will be delayed as long as possible. Inevitable, we as mortals we as mortals will ultimately have to pay the price of the original sin. And therefore, all we can say here this afternoon, with deep reverence and praise in our Father and Redeeming Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is to wish his soul a safe journey across the divide. And we ask that comforting spirit that only God can bring will be on his family and all those that his friends, the farming community in Jamaica, and everyone that he would have influenced and come in contact. And particularly here among our members here who would have basked at some of his knowledge that he was able to share with us. Hopefully we would have had more of that. But God is great and God is good. So I want to thank you, Brother Desmond, for exposing him to us at this level. Those who didn't get to know him as intimately as we would have wanted to. But I want to thank the Caribbean farmers and in particular you, Brother Desmond, the host, to exposing us to this wonderful Jamaican man. So blessings to all of you as we remember him.
Yes. Thank you. Ray?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
All right, go now. I'm hearing you clearer. Ray?
Yes.
Yes.
Signals, they come and go because so you just have to do this.
Brother Desmond, let me say though, in the Caribbean area, I do a lot of live streams, and we're having some difficulty in throughout the region. I don't know if it is as bad in the northern areas like Jamaica. I know you have some impact with the weather, but the internet is a little bit challenged. Sometimes unexpectedly it is dropping out.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it is just coincidence, but in a lot of the country, we're experiencing that. So I would beg your forgiveness if from time to time a member drop out, but stay the course and try to rejoin when you can.
Yes, of course. Well, let us skip over to hear from Brother Carl Smith. Carl, are you hearing us? Hello, Carl. Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon again. Yes, I am hearing you.
Yes.
I am not personally familiar, but I've heard of him, but not in a deep way in terms of what he would have done. But of course, my understanding, he would have contributed significantly to the agricultural sector in Jamaica and across the Caribbean, and we offer our condolences to his family and friends, and we pay tribute to the contribution that he has made to the region, actually, in the agricultural sector. So I'll listen in. Thank you.
Yes. We have been joined by Mr. Helversley. Mr. Helversley, good evening.
How are you doing?
Yes. You knew Lenworth?
I heard the name, but I don't know that much about him.
Okay. Yes. I don't know if you were on that show, but I know he was on this show in October.
Okay.
Yes. And as is someone who has contributed significantly to agriculture in Jamaica and may I say across the region.
you know, and yes. So we lost him, and we decided that we would use this evening program to pay tribute to our fallen brother. So the floor is open for you, sir.
All right. Once again, good evening to everybody. Even though I do not know that much of your fallen colleague, I want to extend my condolences to you all, to his close family, to his friends and colleagues. And at this point, I will say also that I hope that he rests in peace.
Yes, of course. Yes, sir. I'm not hearing from Ray at all, where he is, as Brother Stephen was pointing out, that we are having challenges across the region with our internet service. Well, Ray is in one of the parishes that in Jamaica that was badly hit by the hurricane. So I know that his service down there is very poor, and you know, you can't hear him at all. Ray, are you back with us?
I'm here.
All right, I am hearing you clearly now, so go ahead.
Well, as I was saying, Lenward, I know very well, you know, because I used to talk at on weekday because he was an eloquent writer. So we basically speak to him before the hurricane, and I didn't talk to the I only got the news 2-3 days. But he had a couple of ago. And he has had maybe about 4 stroke, but I know one day I won't, and I guess the time has come. You know, it's just unfortunate. As I said, his experience was very extensive in RADA, JS, 4H, and he has a lot to do with understanding the policies, you know, as it relates to the trade board and the agriculture sector. But he was also a stickler for culture because we too much so always advocate for us to do the best. So, you know, came to understand back in the 7th and 8th no longer exists. Kind of research and the kind of we did no longer exists nowhere in the region. So the sector is basically under pressure.
Yes.
And especially in a time when we're talking about global warming and food security. We just had a category there. Well, there's no scale for the hurricane that hit us here because it was over 250 miles an hour when it hit Jamaica. So I put it in the region of a category 7 or 8 if there's ever such a thing. Last year, Beryl was a... So it tells us that our system is under pressure. So we have to come up with new ways of dealing with agriculture. We no longer can do the traditional thing. As I was saying to Patrick Maitland this morning, we have to do more at take agriculture underground to try and save our environment, because in the Calva Agriculture School where I went back in the 60s, the last $45 billion damage of this can't keep on institutions, and the next year it's gone. And that was the position of Leonard Fulton. So the youths and those of us who are still in agriculture, we have to refocus. And we have to see how we sense the powers that be to start thinking outside the box, because that is what it's going to take for us to survive. If we lay that long. All right?
Yes, sir.
So, as I said, it was my personal friend. I went to Tuskegee, I think my last year was 78. He came there after. We have it in common. So we always use that. He writes a lot in the agriculturist and in the Jamaican papers. So if you go back and research his articles, you will see that he covered the Jamaican and the Caribbean agriculture to a wide extent.
Yes, sir.
So that will greatly, because I don't think there's another person like him right now who is really available to us.
Yes.
And he's very knowledgeable and policies and all that.
Yes, yes.
So again, my sincere condolences to his family and the food and agriculture sector. I thank you.
Yes, Ray. Yeah, that was a good remembrance for Lenworth. Lenworth was a man who dedicated his life to agriculture. Yes. And as I said, well, may his soul rest in peace. Yes. Well, gentlemen, are there any new development? I can report to the group that we, as you know, we are we are reviewing the Constitution. Unfortunately, we, as I said, we started last week and we were supposed to continue this week, but the members had some other engagements, and we did not have a meeting yesterday. So we are planning to have another meeting next week, Tuesday. But as usual, we continue to look ahead and to plan, to make sure that we strengthen the agricultural sector throughout the Caribbean. One of the things that came up during the 1 hour discussion is about insurance for farmers. And I know that there are for insurance in the individual countries. I know that there are, in Jamaica, there are insurance. So one of the things that we will have to do as soon as we solidify our group is to try and find the best insurance available for our members. That is something we will have to look about. Yes.
My gentleman, I agree with you about the necessity for insurance.
Yes.
But the government is also a partner in the role that we play as providing security of food. As a matter of fact, they're a major beneficiary of that because it reduces foreign exchange that they need to import items. So that foreign exchange, if it don't have to go back out and buying grain and other commodities for the nation's population, is a significant saving to the government. The larger companies that have the resources, that have big market share, can afford private insurance. But I think that we need to, in the Caribbean, to appeal to government to recognize that they also have a contract with farmers, and they need to be able to facilitate in some way assisting in getting insurance. And we're coming up to elections now in Barbados, so maybe this is the time to talk to the Minister of Agriculture and the Prime Minister about things like that. But the reality of it is that I would want the members here to lend in mind that government also have a role to play in providing that level of security. Western and Central Jamaica have had significant impact. Trying to do my research, and maybe this forum is a good place to understand how much food crop and the livestock industry, poultry, both eggs and broiler meats have been impacted. I know you had a really good industry there in the poultry industry. It was so important, it was so significant that they could export to Barbados at fairly competitive prices. So, but let me get back to the insurance that you suggested, that we need to lend our minds as we continue to discuss this, to look at lobbying government to assist, especially smaller farmers, with getting access to insurance.
Certainly. That is something, as I said, that we are going to put on the agenda so that we can make it possible for our farmers around the Caribbean to access insurance. I see where I can say that I see we're in Jamaica that the Ministry of Agriculture issued a statement that they have removed GCT from seeds for the period in order that farmers can access seeds at lower prices. One of the things that we were hoping for is that they will also remove GCT from other supplies, so that the farmers can get these supplies in order to replant. We sincerely hope that that is done. Yes. Are there any new developments, Mr. Smith? Any?
Well,
yeah.
This is Ray Hill. If I may just the whole situation here of the impact of the hurricane on the agriculture sector.
Yes.
The hurricane made and over, but it did. Part of poultry industries in the mid-eastern section, but that area was heavily impacted because I was personally
you are breaking up, Ray. We are not hearing him.
I pray about anymore. Eggs may be selling for about $400 Jamaican for 3 eggs, so you can work it out. And you will understand where it's at. So it's going to take us a while to recover. As for the insurance, the government is in their second year of providing insurance for farmers, both crop insurance, retirement benefits, life insurance and all that. It's the second or third year now, and it's been done with the government on the public, the insurance companies. So maybe for the other islands who may be interested, they maybe would want to contact the Ministry of Agriculture through their information service. And you will see what they did was to go into the major companies like Sagicor, Guardian, and BCIC, and what they did was to come up with proposals how they could offer coverage to farmers. Fishermen, everybody have insurance now in Jamaica. It's being available now to everybody.
Yes.
We have the all island, the whole factor of insurance for the country, which also include farmers.
Yeah.
So yes, it is very important because, as I say, with the advent of this kind of weather, if you will invest into agriculture and don't have a backup, you can be wiped out in a matter of hours. So that is something that is very critical.
Yes. Yes. Stephen,
can I ask, what areas were mainly spared? For instance, like from Spanish Town to Bull Bay, we had very little damage there. Bull Bay don't have any agriculture at all up there, as far as I know, except what is growing in the bush at the back of the cement plant. But is it fair to have a picture in my mind, like from Spanish Town eastward, that was relatively period of any real significant damage?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you look on the map of Jamaica, as I said, it's the storm entered between St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, right at the border. Black River is wiped out.
Yes.
Came in with structurally important, and the travel is but it basically affected Liston, Decent Spring, going through the hills, right to St. James. So the Montego River, which originates up in Spring Mount, Maroon Town, it came down in Gulf, Catherine, so it was a very devastating situation, you know. Even in it, we still will be here. Of course, as you know, the western Westmoreland is where you have chattel housing due to slavery. And the fact that people didn't own land, so you had people renting lands and leasing lands and capturing land and building in water course and in swamps. And they were the heavy hit.
For the sake, my brother, for the sake of the Bajans in this area that might not understand what the term capturing water or electricity or land, maybe you want to explain that to them.
Well, capture is where you don't legally connect. You just go in and occupy somebody's land, or you just go to jail and
squatting
and take it. I would say 50% of the people who are connected to the grid don't pay bills. So those who pay for them. All right? And for the lands, the reason for this capturing of lands is because in Jamaica we have what is known as crown lands.
Yes.
So you have a lot of land. More than 50% of the lands in Jamaica is owned by the crown or the state. So you find these lands, the government, the crown, all that will have to change now, because if it changes, we are going to have more problems.
That Ray, I want to point out something to you. Ray, what you are talking about there is a Caribbean issue, you know.
Well, all right. But it affects us here in Jamaica very seriously, and because of our policies here, which has continued since independence, it is devastating.
Yes.
It is very devastating.
Let us, gentlemen, gentlemen, hold. I want to hold it. Hold it there for me. Hold it. Let us take a break. We are on Caribbean Farmers. Let us take a break. This is Rebel Radio.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paints, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hunterburg Road. Telephone 93-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. Yes, and we are talking to Caribbean farmers. Yes, Mr. Lane, you were making a point before we took the break. Continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, though, about the issue of land, maybe because of the size, nearly every inch of land have an owner, even government lands. Government is fairly strict in terms of that you have to have permission to go. I'm saying a few people take chances, and then they might claim to get some relief, but then they have to be regulated and brought into the system where they will have to pay some small amounts for the land. But in my observation between Gordon Town going all the way up to Bellevue, you know, I found a lot of friends in there that were putting in some nice houses on what looked like marginal lands at the side of those old volcanic hills. Going up there, which to me, when it's saturated with water, seemed a little bit dangerous. But I see people capturing water, and with great skill, you know, to capture water on the main going up there, and able to control the flow and capturing electricity. But this is something that couldn't happen in Barbados. But there seemed to be a policy of the service companies, water and as well electricity, to turn a blind eye to that activity within certain sectors of Jamaica.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is my impression.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me ask Mr. Smith. Hello, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith? Oh, not hearing Carl at all. Hello, Mr. Smith, are you there? Not hearing him. Probably his phone is muted. Yes. But Mr. Elversley.
Yes.
What in your country, is there a problem with land ownership?
Well, as you would know, and actually all of us would know, historically, so we have to go back to history first. Historically, most of the Behel lands are owned by the plantations.
Yes.
While a lot of the marginal lands are owned by the smallholders. right? As my colleague, Mr. Liam, have said, and you also, we also have a problem with squatting in Barbados, where persons would take over crown lands which have turned to forest, and which is not currently being used for productive agricultural purposes. So we have a case here in Barbados where the former Clico estates had a lot of lands, a lot of prime agricultural land in one of our rural parishes, St. John. Some of that land have been taken over by smallholders, and in some regards, the government has given the smallholders a type of license to be able to cultivate those lands, right?
Yes.
So throughout the Caribbean, there's that problem, but then also you will find that some squatting also occurs on the private lands too of large multinational corporations. There's one here in Barbados, Sagicor,
yes,
where we had a group of persons who were squatting on the lands, and I now believe that the ownership of the lands have been formally turned over to them because they were squatting on the lands for more than probably 20-25 years. Right, so it's a perennial problem here in Barbados too. Yes. And we also have persons that have gone outside the agriculture and are squatting on lands which were formerly used as dumps, right? So the government now is trying to regularize the status of those persons by giving them access to subsidized housing and all types of other amenities.
Yes.
So we have that problem, but I think that it's kind of in check. It has not exploded to a situation whereby it has become a serious social problem.
Okay, all right. Yes, I was trying to get Mr. Smith to hear his situation, but we are not getting to Hello, Mr. Smith, are you there? Not there, we're not getting him. Yes.
If I may add to the group, that one of the problems in Jamaica is it's political, because it is also used by the politicians in their constituencies to increase their voter accountability.
Yes.
So if you have a constituency that is sparse in population, you can basically mobilize people to go in and capture lands. They don't come out and tell it publicly, but that a lot of what happened, that's where it came from. Yes. So you find that both parties turn a blind eye to this kind of thing until it becomes a problem.
Yes.
So this is happening, and then at the sugar estates, how that sugar happened basically abolished in Jamaica is now non-existent. All those lands that used to be in sugar cane holdings, you find that there are people on the sugar plantation that used to work for the sugar estate. So some of them are living in barracks housing belonging to the estate, and some are adjoining. So what they do, they use the lands for agriculture, and eventually a cook shop or a little shop. Eventually they have a house. Today, as you see a man with a shop, tomorrow you back and he has a massive grocery. These things. So it made a problem in Jamaica, and government, especially now global warming and what is saying, because wood houses are not anymore.
Yes.
So you need to spend $1 million, $3 million for it to smash it. Then you have what? So how are you going to go back and build another 2-3 million and wait next week? So you need access to land where you can do proper planning.
Yes, sir.
This is the food right now.
Definitely. And as you know, the other issue that we face that in recent times we have seen where the government has initiated a move where agricultural lands has been used for housing development. And I know that this is the case in some of our Caribbean islands too. I know that it exists in Trinidad, right? And also in Barbados too. Am I right, gentlemen?
We have a big fight,
Yes.
That is true. Yeah.
The last time
we had a town, Brother Desmond.
Yes.
We had a town planner. He's now deceased, and that's a very high position in the civil service. We used to call it town and country planning. Very senior administrator within the government system, and his position was that land. He was obviously not an agriculturalist. He was an educator as well at university. But his position was that land must fetch its highest economic value. So he wasn't considering agriculture at all. But then the other people, my philosophy is that we have a lot of marginal lands that the people that work on the plantation system, that the government could have put the infrastructure on it, on that, and keep the agricultural lands intact. But the developers want a flat slate, like a flat plane of land that they can carry the tractors in, cut roads, put the electricity and water facilities in, and it's easy going rather than going into the higher. I mean, we don't have mountains like Jamaica, obviously, but going into the more hilly areas, and it becomes a little bit more challenging. But then again, we have our water tables that we need to protect, and that in the past have been an argument that our underground water supply must not be contaminated. But eventually, we're seeing that the government is bending the rules and letting housing development go into those zones that we need to protect for our potable water supplies.
Yes. It is really up.
Let me support my colleague there, if you know my brother Desmond.
Yes.
You might not know, but I'm an agriculture economist and also a farmer.
Okay.
So I have spoken and written it recently on this matter. What the transfer of land out of agriculture is doing, agriculture is that it is changing up the terms of trade. So the terms of trade now is going against agriculture, and Stephen would have said it.
Right.
So when you move land, the lands move, and in most regards, they move permanently. Right? And what happens is that because of that, the lands which move into other uses, whether housing or golf course or whatever, they fetch a higher price. Farmers don't have the financial muscle to pay those prices.
Yes.
So what happens then? That there is a escalation in terms of food prices, and also a negative impact also on productivity. What I have said is that before that occurs, we have to do a productivity profile of the land to see if the soil type is correct, if it has the correct rainfall, if it is lands that are flat, all of those things. Once we recognize technically that the lands are infertile, then the lands can be allowed firstly to move to another agricultural use, whether it's a greenhouse or something like that.
Yes.
Move then before it moves outside of agriculture, but that is not happening. Right? There is a policy where Stephen will have said that land is allowed to move to the highest bidder. Mm-hmm. Right? So that is distorting a lot of the happenings between the food and agriculture sector.
Yes, sir. Yes. That is that.
this is Ray Hill. I'm speaking out of Jamaica here. All that is which be, but with global warming now and what is happening, I think Mother Nature is going to force us to do what she wants us to do, because we no longer can be building all these houses in the plains.
What did you say, Ray? We no longer can be building houses. We're on the plains?
You're not only getting the breeze, but you get the water. And the water is sitting on the land for sometime 3 to 6 months after the hurricane. So, we're going to have to...
Ray? Hello, Ray? We lost him.
Yeah, I think you dropped away.
Yeah. Well, as I said,
I agree with him. After Hurricane Melissa went through, there were houses underwater for a significant number, about 2 weeks, some of them, and people couldn't even have access through the makeshift roads that they had to get to their homes.
Yes,
it was very.
People are living in in what used to be rice paddies. Yeah. So in areas where it used to be rice paddies, remember you used to flood rice paddies. So the dyke road is where it becomes the main road, and the people build their house below the road level. So once you get rain and all that water come from the hills, the houses become inundated. 3, 4, 5, 6 feet of water and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm telling you, for those of us who have not experienced what Melissa did to us, we have to give thanks for things. One, that it came in the day. It came into Jamaica at 10 o'clock and it left Jamaica 10 o'clock in the evening. That's number one. And number two, we have to give thanks that it did not come from the east. Because had it come from Portland, Kingston, St. Andrew, Portmore, with 18-foot surge, imagine how many people would have died.
Yes.
True.
That is
so, brother.
That is.
I am an old man, and when I saw what was happening, I cried.
Yes.
And I asked God, what did we do to deserve this? It was not a good experience. Trust me. So the government have to pay attention, or otherwise I think this is where the people are going to rise up against them. Because it can no longer continue.
Yeah.
I think God in his wisdom, though, didn't allow it to come in from the east. You can imagine if it coming from that deep water offshore from Port Royal. Normally airport would have been underwater, right up to the cement plant on the main highway,
Well, everything happened for a reason.
If it came from that direction, we would not be having this program today, I can tell you.
All right.
Because, when I look and remember that, looking back at history, that Kingston was destroyed in 1907. If the hurricane had entered from the eastern direction, Kingston would be smashed.
True.
Yes. So we have to give thanks, although it has been so destructive. But one thing is that it has taught us some lessons, and it has presented us with some opportunities. And it is up to us now to seize those opportunities and make things better. That is what I am hoping for. It has presented us, for example, with an opportunity, and this is something that the government must look at a land reform program, because you have to resettle those people in the western Jamaica who were damaged, in Westmoreland, right? And you can't build back board houses, right? And you have to make land accessible to those people. So we are watching to see the next move.
And even if it's wooden houses, the foundations for them need to be more significant.
Yes.
Most of them were just like two, 3. I saw most houses just 2 or 3 steps up to the flooring of the house. Yes. That cannot sustain the amount of water that I know are in those areas at all. Mm-hmm. Even a heavy monsoon.
250 miles an hour wind.
Yeah.
Listen,
and then the storm surge
was taking part.
Ray's gone again. As you know,
the storm.
His phone.
The storm was pushing 22 wheelers. We'll turn them over.
Yes.
So
yes,
to live with my brother and to talk about it is something else. Those of us live it, we know that this is nothing normal. And if we use last year with Beryl a category 4, and this year with this storm, then next year we may get a category 10. Not even concrete structures will not stand up to that.
Well, as you know, we are in the hurricane zone, so we have to do what is necessary. Yes, we have to prepare.
Yes.
Right, and we must remember that what happened in Jamaica can happen anywhere in the Caribbean because we are in the zone. Yes.
But it happened in Bahamas a couple years ago.
Yes.
It happened in Bahamas a couple of years ago, so we all are experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we have to bear in mind is that Jamaica, the poultry industry in Jamaica was self-sufficient in meat.
Yes.
Because a lot of the small farmers used to rear their chickens.
Yeah.
You know, these small farmers, they had anywhere from 50 to 100 to 200 and chicks and up. And when you all come together, it was a powerful source. Mm-hmm. So those are the sources that we are basically talking about today, but they are gone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because they are wiped out. Their chickens are gone in the wind, or the rivers took them away. I know people came away.
Yes.
All the things that have to be done. There must be plans in place to secure these things. This is why I'm saying we have to change our whole policy. We maybe don't understand about going underground, but things can be done significantly to protect security. Because if you know that a major hurricane is coming, you can move your animals to shelter.
Yes, you can.
If you are in position. So those of us who know about geology and hydrology and all that type of stuff, we know that these things can be done. And the only thing you have to worry about underground is earthquakes.
Yes.
True.
Let's be realistic, man. We can't continue. I soon won't be here neither, but I'm telling you, if we continue like this, we are just fighting a perilous.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, as you say, we are presented with this situation where we must change because of what we are faced with now. And we continue, as we said, we use the program to pay tribute to our fallen brother Lenworth Fulton.
Lenworth, yeah.
Yes. And we hope that we will learn from some of what Lenworth taught us. That is something that we must bear in mind also. Well, as I said that we are going to try and have the meeting next week to continue looking at the Kafan Constitution, right? And as you said, yes, so I would say that until next week, I want to thank all of those who attended this evening meeting, and take good care of yourself until next week. Thanks very much.
Blessings. You too, everyone.
You all too.
Okay. All right. Well, that was food security. Yes. And we use this evening program to pay tribute to our fallen brother, Lenworth Fulton. Yes. As you know, Brother Fulton was one of our contributors, and he was one of those who one of our contributors to Rebel Radio too, and this program Food Security, that it was he was a frequent contributor there. Well, as I said before, that this is life, and as you know, death is part of life, but it's something that we don't acknowledge. But Brother Fulton, rest in peace. Let us take a break. This is Rebel Radio.
Budget supplies, do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paints, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. $195 per room. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
Imagine a world where information is power, where news meets insight. This is Eyes on the World. Your personal lens. We are watching. With you. Stay informed. Stay curious. Get the world's stories reported to you. Eyes on the World. Your world. Your perspective.
Yes, this is your program. Yes, where we present to you some of what you might have missed taking place in the world. And as Bob Marley said, there's so much trouble in the world. Yes, let's watch some of what is happening around us.
Our next story takes us to Benin. It's a country in West Africa. It is often described as one of the region's most stable democracies. But that stability was tested yesterday. A group of soldiers launched a coup. They announced that the president had been removed from office. For several hours, the country faced gunfire and confusion. But by evening, the government said the coup had been foiled. And at least 14 soldiers had been arrested. Unfortunately, the story does not end here because what happened in Benin is part of a much larger pattern in West Africa. It has seen a wave of military takeovers in recent years. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and just last month, Guinea-Bissau. And Benin itself has a history of coups. But no attempt has succeeded since 1972. Here's a report.
It was an ordinary Sunday in the West African nation of Benin. But within minutes, Cotonou shifted from routine calm to confusion and fear. Gunfire was heard near the president's residence. Armed personnel moved towards the state broadcaster. And soon it became clear. A coup was underway in Benin's largest city. At the national television station, a group of soldiers took control. 8 of them appeared live on air. They called themselves the Military Committee for Refoundation. And they announced that President Patrice Talon is removed from office.
Beninese people, dear compatriots, on this day, Sunday, December 7th, 2025, we, the Defense and Security Forces, after careful consideration, and to give our country a new direction, have decided to take our responsibilities following the multiple failures of Mr. Patrice Talon's government.
Patrice Talon is a former businessman who came to power in 2016. Under him, Benin has reportedly seen steady economic growth. But he has also faced accusations of authoritarianism. Critics say he has limited political opposition. His tenure, set to end in April next year, has also coincided with rising jihadist violence in the north. The revolting soldiers framed their takeover around these security concerns. They also criticize how families of fallen soldiers were treated and alleged unfair promotions within the armed forces. The soldiers ordered the country's borders to be closed until further notice. But their mutiny collapsed within hours. 14 soldiers were arrested. Many others, including the alleged organizer, fled. Benin made 2 urgent requests to Nigeria for help. Nigerian fighter jets entered Benin's airspace, targeting locations where the mutineers had regrouped. Nigerian troops also crossed the border on Benin's request. By evening, President Talon appeared on state television to reassure the country the crisis was over.
I would like to reassure you that the situation is completely under control and invite you, therefore, to go about your business calmly from this evening onwards. Security and public order will be maintained throughout the national territory to guarantee freedom of movement for everyone.
Benin has faced repeated coup attempts after independence from France in 1960, but not a single one has succeeded since 1972. Locals describe the shock of hearing gunfire for the first time in decades.
I can already tell you. It was total fear. It was absolute fear. Because it's the first time we've ever experienced something like this in real time.
The incident comes as West Africa faces a wave of coups in recent years. Mali saw two coups in 2020 and 2021. Burkina Faso had two in 2022. Niger's government was toppled in 2023. Guinea experienced its own military takeover. And Guinea-Bissau saw its president removed last month after a disputed election. Many of these states are grappling with jihadist violence spreading south from the Sahel. That pressure has strained institutions across the region. Benin had long avoided this pattern, but Sunday's attempted coup showed how quickly that could change. For now, Benin says order has been restored. But has the threat truly passed? They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. First Post reveals their truth.
The Sudanese Doctors Network has strongly condemned what it calls the use of mass rape perpetrated by the Rapid Support Forces against women fleeing El Fasher. In a statement, the network says it has documented 19 cases. It comes a day after officials in Sudan's South Kordofan state reported that the RSF killed 114 people in a drone attack on a kindergarten. Sudan is more than two-year-long civil war between its army and the RSF paramilitary group has caused what the UN describes as the world's largest humanitarian crisis. Well, Dr. Mohammed El Sheikh joins us now. You're a spokesperson doctor for Sudan Doctors Network. You're in Manchester. I'll just preface this by saying it is so difficult to get accurate information on what's happening in Sudan in real time, both because of communication blackouts, but also because some areas, especially those under RSF control, are unreachable. But your organization tries to collect that data and to give us the information. Tell us what you have found about what happened in El Fasher.
Thank you for having me again. Day by day we get reports from the ground that showing how horrible the atrocities these civilians are facing from the Rapid Support Forces and their allies in the ground. As you mentioned in your report, there are so far we have reported 19 ladies that have been raped on their way out of when they were escaping out of El Fasher city. So these reports coming from Al-Afad internal refugee camp in the northern state of the country. Also, we reported previously, weeks ago, tens of ladies that have been confirmed raped as well. They have landed safely into Tawila camp as well. So day by day, we see horrible atrocities that are committed towards the civilians from the RSF and its allies. Yesterday, there is a heartbreaking incident where RSF and its ally from the Sudan People Liberation Movement, Al-Hilo Division, their drone strike a kindergarten in Kaludi town in South Kordofan state. This has resulted in tens of kids, unfortunately, died immediately because of that attack. And as the paramedics and the parents of the kids were gathering into the area, then they had a second drone strike as well. So this has resulted in a death toll, as we're talking now, that exceeding 80 people that passed away from that incident, and we have a lot of people who are injured. from this incident as well. The communication with our teams in the ground is extremely difficult. Obviously, as you mentioned in your report, the communications are very interrupted. I would say we are lagging behind by 12 to 24 hours from the dynamics at the ground. So whatever we see or whatever we report, these are incidents happen a day or two before we kind of make a press release about it in Sudan Letters Network.
Doctor, a quick question, if you don't mind, on how you gather that information. We'll talk about South Kordofan a little bit more in a moment. I want to stick to what you're finding on El Fasher and the rape of dozens, you have said, of women who were raped fleeing El Fasher. This information is coming from the victims themselves?
Yes, yeah. So these are victims are actually reported to our teams in the ground. So basically, there is a bit of a stigma if you, as our Middle Eastern culture and Islamic culture and Arab cultures. So unfortunately, rape women, they kind of, because of the community, they look at it as a stigma. So most of the rape women, they tend to not to disclose this information. But because there are so many psychological and mental health support services that are provided to these people who had this lengthy escape journey from Al Fasher into these internally displaced refugee camps. So then after that, then we started to have multiple ladies coming out and reporting the incidents that happened to them. And then the next step will be the medical checks and the medical confirmation process as well. So the 19 confirmed rape cases that reported in Al Afad, now we have 2 ladies are pregnant at the moment. And in Tawila, we had also around 23 that reported. And unfortunately, the age of these rape victims varies from 15 years to 23 years. And these are all in the birth age, like a protective, child age bearing. So these are the things. These are confirmed at the moment.
And are you finding that it is certain groups that are being targeted, or are rapes now systematic for women who have tried to leave El Fasher?
So obviously we are always we always know that for everyone who knows the background of the conflict in Darfur, we know that the RSF soldiers, they tend to be very non-humane towards people who are not from the community, tribal community or tribal components. So yes, I would say there is some sort of an ethnic, like kind of selective towards victims for those people who are, or for these ladies who are being raped.
And
we're still kind of investigating that. But yes.
Going back to South Kordofan, so this happened yesterday, and there were drone attacks by the RSF paramilitary on a kindergarten. I don't know if you have any insight into this, but why would any armed group choose to attack a kindergarten?
I mean, we're still trying to find that. It's really difficult to convince ourselves. I'm still trying to find an answer for that myself. But to be honest, looking at the pattern of RSF behavior while committing the atrocities towards the civilian, this is something, unfortunately, we really need to look into it. Why is that happening? We have seen similar incidents that happened in Al Fasher as well. We remember the incident when there are artillery shelling and then there is a drone airstrike to the internally displaced area called Dar al-Arqam in Al Fasher University, and for which we lost tens of internally displaced people who were coming from Zamzam camp. Among them were kids as well. We have seen RSF targeting the hospitals and the clinics. So this is something we really need to know why is that happening. We have seen RSF soldiers, they're actually invading Saudi hospital and then they're killing the inpatients and the visitors to the hospital with a very cold blood. And more than that, ironically, they do record that and then they publish it into the social media, platforms, priding, I'm very proud of committing these atrocities. So it is something that really we need. I'm speechless. I can't talk on their behalf why they are doing that, but it is confirmed. So I see no reason why drone striking a kindergarten, and then on top of that, it's not only one attack, it's actually 2 attacks. So this is something very indicative that this is a systematic. It's not like a side effect of the war or like collateral damage or any of that. No, this is a systematic targeting to an area in a South Kordofan that filled with the kids. And then when the paramedics and the parents of those kids gather into the area, you airstrike them again. So this is something, it is targeted. It's not like something a coincidence.
Do you have a sense outside of this one incident? An incident does not feel like the right word. It's a massacre and dozens of children were killed. Outside of that event, do you have a broader picture of what is happening in the Kordofan region more generally? Because it's very difficult, as we said at the top, to get that information.
It is, yeah. So what's happening in South Kordofan, to be honest, and I'm saying that in a very sad tone and with a broken heart, the pattern of these atrocities that happen in South Kordofan, it kind of brings to our mind what happened in El Fasher. You probably remember El Fasher was under massive siege from these RSF forces for like 18 months. People of El Fasher were struggling silently and they were dying silently. So the same pattern that we see now in South Kordofan, in cities of South Kordofan, there is a massive siege in the main cities of South Kordofan, and there's no food allowed, there's no medicines allowed. Within the last months, we lost 23 kids because of the severe malnutrition, because there's no food, there's no medical service whatsoever. So, and then in between these kind of siege, every now and then we do have this kind of like a heavy drone strikes and artillery shelling to the areas where filled by civilians. We keep losing civilians day by day, every day, in front of the world. People in South Kordofan now, they are struggling silently, pretty much similar to the people of North Darfur. So this is something we really need to something needs to be done. We don't want to see the same tragedy that happened in North Darfur, and we see honestly we don't want it to happen again in South Kordofan. We lost thousands of people, and this is the thing that brings me to the point that what happens in this war specifically, it's not a civil war. It's that we do have a paramilitary group that's sponsored and heavily supported by countries in the region. Some Syrians from different parts of Africa and Latin America, they're coming and committing these atrocities towards the civilians in Sudan, in North Darfur and in South Kordofan. So, I mean, the definition of a civil war doesn't apply here.
Dr. Mohammed El Sheikh, your spokesperson for Sudan Doctors Network, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on Al Jazeera today.
Don't miss out on the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera.
Benin's government says it has foiled a coup attempt after a group of soldiers in the West African nation led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri announced on national television that they had ousted the president and seized power. The foreign minister refuted those claims, saying the majority of the National Guard and the military remain loyal to President Patrice Talon. A government spokesperson says 14 people have been arrested in connection with that attempt to take control. Let's take a listen now to the Interior Minister.
Fellow countrymen and women, on this Sunday, December the 7th, 2025, in the early morning, a small group of soldiers engaged in mutiny in order to destabilize the state and its institutions. Before the situation, the Benin armed forces and their hierarchy, faithful to their oath, remained Republican. They fought back and allowed the situation to remain under control and to fail the maneuver. Thus, the government invites the population to keep acting as usual. Thank you.
For more on this, we can bring in Beverly Oshing, Senior Analyst in Control Risks Global Risk Analysis from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Benin here has largely been considered one of Africa's more stable democracies. So did news of this coup come as a shock to you?
Well, it did feel quite surprising it happening so soon into the election. Obviously, there has been some political grievances. There are two other political opponents of Talon who have been arrested, charged, and jailed in connection with coup attempts. But it didn't seem as if it was going to build up to a real state attempt, making it all the way to state TV. However, from what we can see, the group that attempted to seize power, which was led by Colonel Tigri Pascal, did not have as much consolidation as they may have thought. If you look into their statement, they seem to be trying to tap into ongoing grievances. They accuse the president, for instance, of not leading the country well, of cracking down on the opposition, various other socioeconomic issues, and perhaps they were trying to trigger protests that would lead to support for them, but the government says that it has taken back control. However, the situation will remain fluid until there's certainty over who actually is in charge, given what has happened.
Now, Beverly, President Patrice is going to be stepping down in April with new elections to be held. Do you think the timing of the elections had some impact as to why they acted now?
It's likely various issues. Yes, there will be elections next year, starting with legislative elections and then presidential elections. A few weeks ago, there was some changes to the Constitution, which then extended the presidential mandate to 7 years. But I understand that these do not take into effect after this election. In fact, Talon already has a handpicked successor, who is the current finance minister, who will likely be the one who would be the frontrunner of this election. There have been long-running grievances since Talon's second term came into effect. In 2019, there had been protests over legislative elections. They seem like one of the most pronounced instances of political protest in the country. But by and large, despite this, Benin has maintained a level of stability, has maintained a level of openness, and so this will be a test to its institutions and whether it is still able to continue consolidating that power and support within the institutions, especially the military and with the opposition.
Now, Beverly, you mentioned there a moment ago that there's a couple of concerns that are happening. The soldiers, the mutinous soldiers mentioned a couple of those. One of them was the president's handling of the deterioration of the security situation in the northern part of the country. How has regional instability in the area impacted Benin?
I mean, Benin itself is starting to experience the spread of the militancy in the northern regions of the districts of Atakora and Alabori, which border both Niger and Burkina Faso. Since 2019, there have been some attacks by militant groups, the Al-Qaeda group, which is based in Mali, as well as the presence of Islamic State that has some influence in neighboring Nigeria. In fact, as recently as October, an attack was claimed by the Al-Qaeda group in Nigeria, claiming that it may have used a route through Benin. That insurgency is still far off from really destabilizing Benin, but of course it is leading to mistrust within the region. There's a lack of coordination between Benin and Niger. The border remains closed. Niger is under military rule since 2023. They accuse Benin of being supported by external actors, including France, to destabilize it. There's also the lack of coordination now between the multinational joint task force. Benin is a contributor, so is Nigeria, but Niger and Chad pulled out. So there's a lot in flux. But with this particular military coup, even though that was raised as a grievance, for now it's very well away from the capital, Cotonou and Porto Novo. However, it's likely to be a source of concern in the event that this insurgency continues to hold, especially in that Sahel and northern region.
Now, Beverly, to take a little bit of a broader look, in the past 5 years, Africa has seen a rise in military coups. This one here apparently thwarted, but what does all of that say for the future of democracy on the continent?
There are definitely concerns, especially this coming just after what happened in Guinea-Bissau, which was during an election period. Elections themselves are no longer being seen as a means of measuring democracy or the certainty of political transition. And so it can be an instance where militaries take advantage to try and intervene politically. There will be long-standing concerns. I think ECOWAS, the Economic Regional Bloc, has raised concerns about the state of democracy, given that this is happening primarily in the region. But we did see in Madagascar a coup as a result of protests by young people over socioeconomic grievances. And right now, I think governments are under a lot of pressure to provide for the public, especially for younger people, and to thwart instances where the military feels inclined to step in as an arbiter, even though we've seen in the Sahel and even in Sudan, this hasn't really been the case.
Beverly, thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us on the program. That's Beverly Oshing, Senior Analyst in Control Risk Global Risk Analysis.
These workers have the difficult task of digging up bodies that were hastily buried behind a school. It's one of hundreds of unconventional graves that were used in Sudan's capital during 2 years of conflict. Now, the bodies are being exhumed to be reburied in cemeteries elsewhere. Rajab Juma lives in a dame where some of the graves have been dug. He says people were buried in schools and homes because the fighting made it difficult to move around.
We couldn't go to the cemetery because the shooting was intense, and at night we couldn't move, so we buried bodies in homes. This area was especially hard to move around in. There were few people, and the RSF had checkpoints all over, so we were forced to bury bodies nearby.
Inside the school, another body, or what remains of it. Health authorities say the bodies belong to people who were caught in the crossfire or who died from a lack of healthcare or food. Many of the bodies had been buried for months and decomposed. 15,000 bodies have been gathered from several areas so far, and officials say an equal number are still likely buried, but exhuming them is not easy.
Among the challenges is funding, which is needed to move the bodies, and the number is huge, and there are not enough doctors. Forensic experts are few. It's a rare profession, and there are only 3 of us to cover the entire state.
The process is expected to last for weeks as officials work to rehabilitate the capital. But with limited funding and experts to oversee the operations, there are concerns given the bodies proper burials may take longer. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news.
The United Nations on Tuesday warned fresh advances by the Sudanese paramilitary Rapid Support Forces could trigger a new exodus of refugees spilling over the country's borders. And UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, who recently visited a camp for displaced people, says humanitarian groups are desperately short on resources.
We are barely responding. I have to say, in the site, I only visited this particular site, which is not very big, about 11,000, 12,000 people, but arrivals all the time. We saw people just arrive, literally.
The RSF took the city of Al Fasher in late October in one of the biggest gains of the 2.5-year war with Sudan's army, and it continues to advance eastward into the Kordofan region. Most of the estimated 40,000 people the United Nations says have been displaced by the latest violence in the region have sought refuge within the country, but Grandi says that could change if violence spreads.
If, say, a city like El Obeid, which is even closer to Khartoum, and another major city in that area, if that were to be not necessarily taken but engulfed by the war, I am pretty sure that we would see more exodus. It's the big urban centers that produce most of the displaced.
Already, the war has uprooted nearly 12 million people, including 4.3 million who have fled across borders to Chad, South Sudan, and elsewhere in the world's biggest displacement crisis. Most of those who have trekked hundreds of kilometres to Sudan's Al Daba camp on the banks of the Nile, north of Khartoum, are women and children. Their husbands and sons were killed or conscripted along the way. Some mothers said they disguised their sons as girls to protect them from being abducted by fighters.
And their stories are unfortunately all the same. Rape, murder, forced recruitment of children, separation of families, and sheer robbery.
Grandi says cutbacks by Western donors has left a Sudan response plan with just a third of its funding.
Authorities in Tanzania are warning people to stay at home on Tuesday, saying that protests planned to mark the country's Independence Day are unlawful and constitute an attempted coup. Activists and government opponents have called for protests after the violent crackdown on demonstrations during October's presidential election. Rights groups say hundreds of people were killed and thousands arrested. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has appointed a commission to investigate election-related violence, but denies that security forces acted improperly. Instead, she's accused protesters of trying to overthrow the government. Police have confirmed the arrest of at least 10 people for online posts connected to the planned protests. The United Nations has called on the government to respect people's right to peaceful assembly.
Great things are happening in Burkina Faso under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore. An industrial revolution is unfolding right before our eyes. The country is experiencing a major transformation. New airports are being built, modern roads are being built, and companies that had once collapsed are being revived. Burkina Faso is positioning itself as a future manufacturing hub on the African continent. Today, we visit one of the boldest symbols of this transformation, a company producing made in Burkina vehicles, designed, built, and owned entirely by Burkinabe.
How am I driving? Am I smooth?
Great.
Smooth like butter.
No, in Burkina Faso, we were born revolutionaries, we are living revolutionaries, and we will die for revolutionaries. Everything is about revolution in Burkina Faso. La révolution électrique démarre ici. The electric revolution starts here.
Oh, right.
Right here.
Right here.
Did you know that right here in Burkina Faso, they make their own cars? I mean, there's just a lot of things that are going on in Burkina Faso, and I know in a few years, this country is going to be transformed. I love the creativity. I just love how things are going on. Step by step, in a few years, people will be like, whoa, what nation is this? Anyway, I said, when I come to Burkina Faso, I must see the vehicles that are made in this country. And the interesting part is that the vehicles actually have local names. So right now, I'm at a place called Itawa. That is the company that makes these electric vehicles. And I just want to show you around. So this ahead, as you can see, is the Itawa office. And you can see all these cars. But I want us to get the right information from inside. All these are some of the cars that the company is making and selling. It's called Itawa. So let's go. Let's go meet her. Hi. I'm good. Hello. Hi.
Welcome to Itawa.
Thank you so much. Keita.
Yes.
Oh, nice meeting you, Keita. What is this amazing?
You are welcome.
Yeah.
Let me show you the showroom.
Okay.
Come with me.
Itawa. What does Itawa first? What does Itawa mean?
Itawa is a name of a village.
Okay.
Atangeda Subi.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the place.
No.
Okay. I will show you there.
Okay.
This is an electrical car.
Yeah. 100% or hybrid?
No, 100%. No,
100%
yes,
electric.
Yes. So it have 331 kilometers.
Okay, once it's fully charged.
Yes. So
okay, let me get. Okay.
So you have to put the key here.
Yeah. It's so comfortable. Yeah. Get in. Or call driver. Yes, I'm the driver now.
So put your leg in the brake.
In the brake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can go from the back.
Oh.
It's okay.
God.
It's okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
we have 297 kilometers. Yeah. So here you can put music like this. Yeah. Bluetooth settings. Okay. Windows up, windows down, AC for your seat. Oh, to adjust the seat. Okay. And this is drive, neutral, reverse. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's different. Which animal is this? Is it a horse?
Yes.
It's a horse. Is this a horse?
Yes.
Oh.
Like Italo.
Stallion.
Oh, stallion.
Yeah, male horse.
Oh.
Yeah, male horse is what should I say? A national symbol. You see the Burkina Faso team, football team.
Yes.
It's called the Stallions.
Okay.
And big awards is with this sign, or should I say this symbol.
Okay. That's lovely. This is the smallest model.
Yes.
All right. And of course in the Sahel. Is the car called Sahel?
Yes.
Oh, this model is called Sahel.
Because in the Sahel region.
So such a model, how much does it go for? Approximately, how much is the price for this one? In terms of
in dollar.
In CFA? Pardon, 12 millions?
12 millions,
Yeah.
565 000 TTC.
560,000.
Oh, 12 million. 560,000 for this one. I'll convert that in the text. Yes, so you can know the price in dollars. So what inspired? Like what's the inspiration behind the names? Like it's Tenakuru, Sahel, Itawa.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not French, they're not English.
Yes, exactly. They are local names, and I would say that that's the reason why he has chosen them. I'm not the owner, but I would dare to speak on his behalf, even though that I didn't get the permission to do so. I know, and I've learned that Itawa is the name of his village where he's coming from.
Oh, the founder.
Yeah, the founder of the company. And Sahel, we are in the Sahel region. Tenakuru is the name of the highest mountain in Burkina. That's what I'm thinking. There's the Mount Tenakuru. And what native is native.
Of course,
native. In French we say native. Native is the same. And what Zircon, I wouldn't know what they say, but they are all local names.
Okay. Yes, so it was important to decolonize.
To colonize, exactly.
And use the names that relate to the people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that reflects the people and the culture.
Yes, that could identify us.
Okay, you don't even question when you hear Tenakuru. If you see a Tenakuru car in Europe, you know that's from.
You know where is it from?
The source.
Where does
Yeah.
it come from?
Okay.
Africa.
All right. Thank you.
This is a hybrid one.
This is a hybrid. Oh, I like it. Maxi. Thank you. This one would be perfect for me.
This one you put the petrol will charge the batteries for the batteries.
Oh, so okay. Right. This actually looks like my size. Yeah, this is my size.
So you can
Oh, the sandal. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Oh. Okay.
And here you have a small fridge.
A fridge?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Is it?
Oh, wow. It has a mini fridge.
Yes.
So my drinks would remain cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, love that.
If you connect your telephone,
Music.
Perfect.
Oh my God. Let's go on a road trip. Let's go on a road trip right now. You've set the mood. You can put your things here. Oh wow, you've set the mood. We should just set the mood. We need to go out on a road trip.
And you can charge your phone here. Over here.
Okay.
You can charge your phone here.
And it has a big screen. Oh, nice. I like this. So I want to ask you. So what makes guitar workers unique?
It's economic.
And it lasts long. Comfort.
Yes,
It's comfortable. So what makes, like, why would I buy Itawa? Like, what advantage it has over the other cars?
Il y a 5 ans de garantie. Et les batteries sont des batteries lithium premium. Donc quand vous prenez la batterie, même a une durée de vie de 15 ans. Donc quand vous prenez, c'est sûr que vous n'allez même pas faire 5 ans avec, vous allez venir changer encore et tout. Et les batteries toujours restent intactes.
It has a 5 years warranty. And again, it uses very good batteries, that lithium batteries that can last 15 years. So when you grab one car, you won't even have the batteries, overused before you come and change another one, because the new models keep on coming. So you for sure you have the opportunity to be using car that won't disturb you or worry you for any problem at all.
Okay. And what about the terrain? Is it made to suit the terrain here, like West Africa, like Burkina terrain?
C'est des voitures tropicalisées pour le Burkina.
Tropicalized for Burkina Faso.
Okay. Okay. All right. Tenakuru. So before we go to our next model, how many models do you have? Oh, 6 models. So Sahel, Tenakuru, Native, Oka,
Len Elder, and Zikon.
Zikon. Which one is the most affordable? The smallest, most affordable one? Sahel. Oh, okay. So you don't have all the models in the showroom right now? Okay. And this green one?
This is Native. This is Native. Full electric.
Fully electric.
Yes.
Fully electric. Yes. I like it.
The brake.
Okay.
And we are ready to go.
We are ready to go.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a full electric. It have 30, 100, 330 kilometers.
Oh, so once it's fully charged, you can go 330 kilometers. Yeah. And how much does this one cost?
13,756,756.
13,756,600.
So it's the next one after the Sahel.
Yes.
Okay. And Tenakuru was how much?
25,600,000.
Oh, okay. If you want a made in Burkina car, this car is so comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, nice. These are just some of the features.
Yes. So there you have it. That's what we selected for you this week on Eyes on the World. So until next week, we'll be back with Eyes on the World.
Imagine a world where information is power, where news meets insight. This is Eyes on the World. Your personal lens. We are watching. With you. Stay informed. Stay curious. Get the world's stories reported to you. Eyes on the World. Your world. Your perspective.
What's up, people? Me again, man, Mr. B. And today we want to have a discussion about an issue that to a large extent we kind of sweep under the rug, especially now that we have this whole political that really don't make no sense. People down in Jamaica dead and our politicians don't really care about them. So we want to have this conversation that looks at Jamaica 60 years in the same cycle and we're still ignoring our greatest resource that we have at our disposal, our people. So let's have an honest conversation to the family. One that Jamaica has avoided for far too long. Again, as we say, for the better part of the last 63 years, Jamaica has been doing the very same thing, same mindset, through the same broken political structures, and then we pretend that we're shocked when we end up at the same place. And unfortunately, that same place is stagnation. So I could start with some facts. According to 2024 World Bank, Jamaica's per capita GDP, right, was just over 7,500. 7,500, which puts us basically near the bottom of the Caribbean economic ladder. The only country that is below us is Belize, which has a per capita GDP of about $4,900 US, and Haiti $3,200. Jamaica $7,500. When you compare that with countries like the Bahamas, the Virgin Islands, countries like Trinidad, Antigua and Barbuda, smaller islands than Jamaica that don't have anywhere near the resource capabilities or the resources that Jamaica has. We are flounder, So here's the irony. The part that should make every single Jamaican take a breath. This is the same Jamaica. Same small island. Same place where we are fighting poverty every year. That is ranked among the top 10 most culturally influential countries in the entire world. Just make that sink in. Contradiction, but make it sink. Just for a moment. Think about this. The world dances to Jamaican music. The world runs behind our athletes. And the world imitates with language, swagger, and style. We're not supposed to tell you. It should tell you that Jamaica's creative output is global currency. Yet, where are we? Our economy stuck. Why? What sense that make? Now, here's the truth that Jamaica people don't admit. And again, we fight one another. Ernest Whitted said that. Fight one another for the power and the glory. And the kingdom just goes to waste. Our political system, the PNP and the JLP has never understood that Jamaica's biggest competitive advantage is not its backside. It's not tourism. It's not agriculture. It is the people of Jamaica. And for decades, the governing class in Jamaica has failed to invest in the single sector that could redefine Jamaica's economic future. Culture and human development. So instead, for the past 63 years, certainly the last 60, governments have preferred to give massive tax breaks to the money class, brown skin, up tapanars people, tax holidays to open up and build hotels, duty waivers, incentives, concessions, right? Most of these businesses, particularly our tourism, retains only about 20% of their is actually remitted to Jamaica, which is hardly enough to properly run these hotels. 80% of the revenues of hotels leave Jamaica, gone somewhere else, right? But we give these investors, if you want to call them investors, we give them tax breaks, tax holidays, 5-year tax holidays. We give out businesses to tax holidays. And usually at the end of the tax holiday period, I think it's about 5-10 years. Typically what happens, especially with the hotels, is that just before the tax holiday expires, the hotel will change. A new set of people come in, take it over. The same concessions are given to them. They suck out the juice out of the industry. Work with the Jamaican laborers who they don't pay no portion of money. Just get enough money for go back. And these people remain underdeveloped as a population. We Jamaicans, while the hotel owners are basking in the sun, literally and figuratively, with the profits. So every year, when an election cycle around, we talk about let's build more hotels. Same script. Let's build more hotels. So let me ask you, where's the creatives? The investment in the creative capacity of the country. This is the same country that UNESCO has basically offered reggae music as a protected status. This is the same country that UNESCO recognized as giving some seven genres of music to the rest of the world. So where is the investment? In developing the creative side, the musicians, the dancers, filmmakers, designers, animators, athletes, storytellers, the very people who carry Jamaica upon them back across the globe, Where's the structured curriculum in schools around creative industries? Primary school or prep school, you can go as a little youth, where you get introduced to music. Where's the national cultural Where's the budget? Protected budget. What percentage of GDP Jamaica GDP invest in developing the culture? And we can't do that because we don't even earn any money. $7,500 per head can't do nothing. So basically, we are not doing enough to expand our GDP, right? Which is the GDP where we need so we can continue to grow. Where is the strategy? The answer is Jamaica has no defined cultural development, no structured creative industry pipeline, not even a little snippet as a percentage of GDP is dedicated to culture. What this is telling you is that we have a set of politicians where we kill ourselves over. It's the people who want to cut them throat, one another throat, to defend Andrew Holness and and these people are visionless. Absolutely visionless. If you don't invest in people, you can't grow your country. But to invest in people, politicians who are fighting for power, has to be visionary. Can't be visionary to grow your own bank account. Because some of our politicians are multi-millionaires, but the people who have voted for them are dead film. The politicians have to learn how to think in 30-year timeline, not in 5-year elections. They have to understand that empowering Jamaicans is not a threat to them or anybody else, but it's an economic strategy. Unfortunately, Jamaica politics thrive on divisiveness, tribalism, exclusion, keeping people dependent on links and favors and handouts and party loyalty. Now was the sweetest time for politicians because you can carry a bag of groceries. Say a hurricane relief. We not help them forget out of the dependence. And that is the political culture that Jamaica has had for the last 6 decades. And all it has done slow down Jamaica. Anchor the country in a state of persistent poverty for the last 63 years. Just imagine this. Jamaica should be setting GDP targets similar to places like the Bahamas. Bahamas have per capita GDP of over $40,000. Bahamas don't have nowhere near the resources. So they don't have the population. Right? This is a country that makes more per person than Jamaica, even with half. Right? Without even half of the culture. Bahamas don't have no reggae, no dancehall, no Rastafari global, no Olympic sprint dynasty, no Usain Bolt, no Shelley and Fraser Price, no Bob Marley. Yet economically, them far ahead of Jamaica.
Well, there you have it. That's the end of today's show. Thanks to all my listeners and viewers. Thanks to my technical operator, Kevin. Yes. And remember, drivers, pedestrian, riders, take it easy on our roads. Yes. No more casualties. Drive safely. And we are about to celebrate something that we have to be thankful for. And that is, based on the latest crime figures, we are going to end 2025 below the 1,000 murders. Now, this will be the first year in 24 years that this is happening. And that is something we have to talk about. At the same time, we observe that, and this is based on Indicom's projections, that police killings may end up at 300. Now, what is the relationship between the reduction in the murder rate and the dramatic increase in police killings? That is something we have to discuss and talk about. The police have a theory. We'll talk about that. Until Friday, this is Rebel Radio, and I'm Desmond Richards.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grills. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Boulevard Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching